Welcome, everyone. I'm your host, Coach Ricks. You've entered Coaches Talk, where we talk about all things sports related, all hot topics, mainly college football subjects and titles. If you can, hit that like button, hit that red subscribe button, ring the bell so you won't miss any content that I put out. This is the second podcast that I'm putting out. So, we have a little talk today with a buddy of mine, and he's SEC guru, and we were talking about the respect that OU is not getting coming into the SEC. So he asked me today, will OU get the respect from the other SEC teams? And, he didn't know this special fact, but Oklahoma has 110 wins against the SEC. Take it for granted. 67 of those games are from Missouri. 19 of those games are from Texas A&M. So Missouri, you shouldn't be talking no noise. I mean, 67 wins. That's a lot, man. But we're going to jump in both feet. We're just going to talk a little bit about, the records Oklahoma has against some of these SEC teams. Now, don't get it twisted. This SEC, man, they are a juggernaut. I think a lot of people, they know the SEC is a powerhouse, but you're pretty much top heavy. Everybody keeps saying top heavy, but your LSU's, your Auburn's, your Florida's, Ole Miss now, Alabama and Georgia and Tennessee. Those pretty much seem to be the 6 or 7 that are always at the top of the food chain. So it's not like everybody is eating in all 14 teams before OU and Texas got there were doing such a great job. So I just think that everybody is, they're making a big deal about this. They're not really taking OU serious. I think they still have the old Lincoln Riley mentality that Lincoln is still there, that OU is too soft. They haven't been recruiting very well. They haven't, been doing the right things to get fundamentally sound and fundamentally ready for the SEC. But I think they don't really know Oklahoma like I think they should. Oklahoma, man, for the last 3 years has had three top 10 recruiting classes. Getting Smitty back was very important. Getting Smitty back, man, was very vital to Brent Venables coming back to Oklahoma. That P90X Beanie Wiley crap that he was doing with yoga and Pilates and all that crap, you couldn't stop a cold, man. And like I said, I think Lincoln, him leaving and BB coming in, man, that was the greatest thing for Oklahoma fans, is to get rid of Lincoln. But to jump in some of these stats, man, I didn't know that Oklahoma was 3-2 against Alabama. Well, Alabama's Alabama. The games that Oklahoma have won, of course, Trevor Knight had that great game in the Sugar Bowl. But all of OU's games they've won have come back in the early 2000s when Oklahoma was, coached by Bob Stoops. But since then, Alabama has pretty much had their way with Oklahoma. They are 10-4 against Arkansas. The Great Cotton Bowl in 2002, 10-3. I think they had Matt Jones and all those guys, man. I think that was a great Arkansas team, man. But they ran into a great defensive team in Oklahoma. They only got 3 points out of that. Oklahoma is 2-0 against Auburn. We remember the 2017 beat down in the Sugar Bowl. Joe Mixon and Baker Mayfield and all those guys went down there. I think the coach was Gus Malzahn was the coach for Auburn at that point in time. They didn't do that well against Oklahoma. Then, of course, they are 1-1 against Florida. Everybody remembers the 2008 national championship game with Tebow and Oklahoma. I think the score was 21-14. If I'm getting that right. If I'm wrong, please put it down in the comments that I was wrong and give me the correct score. And then we all know the beatdown that Oklahoma gave them in 2020 in the Cotton Bowl when Stinking Lincoln was the coach. I think that team was depleted, but I still think Oklahoma would have went in there and won that game. I think everybody underestimated the offense that Oklahoma had in 2020. Of course, they are 0-1 against Georgia. Who can forget that great Rose Bowl in 2018? Still can't believe we lost that game. Up 21 at halftime, you do a damn squib kick and let them kick a field goal and be down 17. That's crazy. 54-48 was that score. Man, that game still haunts some OU fans. I think Lincoln got complacent. I think Lincoln thought he could cruise control, put it in cruise control, and just cruise the championship game and everything, man. And I think if they would have got past Georgia, I really believe that OU had a chance at beating Alabama. That's just my take. You ain't got to agree with it. That's just my assessment of the situation. They are 2-1 against Kentucky. I think that would be that's going to be a good game whenever OU plays them. I think it's next year or the following year. It will rotate to play the opposite sides. I think that would be a great game to have Mark Stoops playing against Brent Venables and everything. That would be a great game. That'd be a very good defensive game as well. I think that'd be a low-scoring game in that. And then, of course, they are 1-2 against LSU. Who can forget the 2004 Sugar Bowl? I think that's when Jason White was hurt. He wasn't himself. They were averaging 30 and 40, almost 50 points a game, and they only scored 14 that game because I think he had a hurt leg or hurt finger or whatever. Still, 21-14 against a great defensive team, and LSU was great. And then we can't forget that 2019 beatdown, 63-35. LSU. I think that team could beat some NFL teams, man, because they had talent all over the field. So, just to give a little note, man, OU has done good against SEC teams. I think a lot of the SEC teams, man, they are thinking Oklahoma is going to come in one way, and I think OU is going to come in and show them that we're going to play this way. The first 4 games, you're not going to get anything out of OU. I think they're going to play basic and complacent against Temple. I think they're going to do, the same thing against Tulane. They're not going to show anything to Tennessee. I think that the freshman from Tennessee, I think that he's going to be in for a rude awakening. But like I said, the young man might come out there and shine. He might come out there and do some things that OU hasn't seen. We're going to be up against top elite talent every single week in the SEC. Even your Vanderbilts, even your Ole Miss, even your Kentuckys, even your South Carolinas. There are some dudes in the SEC, man. Don't get it twisted. Just because they're not on a good team and their record is one thing doesn't mean that they're not going to get up to play Oklahoma. Everyone gets up to play Oklahoma. So, yeah, man, that's just my little take on this, man. I'm going to jump back on later, but I just wanted to put this out right quick before I forgot it. But I'm hoping that, with the upcoming days, we'll get a little bit more content out. I'll have a little bit more time to get on here and play with the program and, find more content, do some more work and find some content to put out. We're going to ramp up the OU content here next week. I believe I'll have a little bit more time from work to where I'll be able to come home and really dig into the computer and dig into some stats and everything and get some content out so we can start moving this podcast in the right direction. Hopefully next week we'll get Mike in. I think he's on vacation right now or he's doing something, but we're going to get him in as well. But like I said, I appreciate you guys rocking with me. And like I said, this is just the beginning. This is something that I love to do. We're just going to try to maneuver and every single day get a little bit better. I don't like to edit my videos. I like to see people see me mess up, see me slur on some words, this and that, because I want you to see that it's authentic. I don't want AI. I don't want to edit this and edit that. What I say is what I say and how I feel is how I feel. So we're going to keep this podcast raw and pure. When we mess up, we're going to make a mistake. We're going to just admit it and keep it moving. But until then, man, I love you guys, man. Thank you for rocking with me. And again, make sure you hit that like and subscribe button, man. I really appreciate that because that's going to help me and make me get better. So until then, man, I appreciate it. You guys take care. Coach Rick's out.